in here, but that Overlord does have speed. Speed is upgraded, and I think actually what could be a very viable option on this map, especially given the positions, is for drop tech to come into play here, and you could just drop on the high ground. Unfortunately, the Zerg player doesn't have too far range of units. Their farthest range unit obviously being the Guardian, but I'm talking ground units here, and their farthest range ground unit is a Lurker. They only have 2 units. If you actually, there's actually something interesting to take into perspective here. They only have 2 units that can actually, ground units that can shoot at a distance, which is pretty low, I guess. But then I guess if you look at it in perspective, the only race that actually does have a lot of range units is Terran, and yeah, so, and Protoss really only has 1, which is the Dragoon, but they also have Archons, whatever. Anyways, a whole bunch of Corsairs built up here, and they took 1 Scourge hit, but they're fine. Haven't lost any of their buddies just yet. And an expansion now going down for Hoejja, and it looks like Jangbi is looking to, I think he's either looking for a hidden expansion or he's looking to take his own. I can only assume that he's looking to take his own. Like I said, and of course there's getting caught out in the field here, not losing any, but taking a lot of shots. I think, sorry, but what I was saying earlier, just now, is that the Protoss player takes a long time to get down their 3rd base, but it actually takes them, they're very quick to get their 4th base, and all the bases following that. And a nice Lurker Egg block here from these Zealots. So I think Jangbi's going to know anyways that that base is down, but so he's going to be able to deal with it later on, but regardless, he's in an alright position now. I think the only thing he needs to worry about is the extra base in the back, because having blocked that ramp, he's actually blocking off 2 bases, so Jangbi could be a little bit worried that something like that is occurring, but it's not. And he could also assume that that base has been up for a long time, and so he might set up an expansion here. A Zergling is actually moving down there. He's going to go check out that natural expansion there. Corsairs moving around here, not being able to do much damage, picking off random Scourge here and there. I can only assume that those Corsairs have the +1 upgrade, so they're going to be able to do a lot more damage to Overlords, and Scourge are just definitely not going to be allowed to get in there. Getting some weapons upgrades and what have you. Wow, doing some damage to these Overlords. Losing a Corsair for an Overlord, not necessarily the best trade at all, to be honest with you. And this, I don't agree with this defense, to be honest with you. I've seen, wow, and some Overlords getting caught out in the field here, losing 1. I thought he was actually going to lose all 3 there in a clump, but he split that one off very nicely. He saw which one was getting target fired, and he split it off. So very good on his part, on Hoejja's part. And now he's chasing down more Overlords and more Scourge. Losing yet another Corsair, though. Jangbi, I'm going to call this sloppy, especially for Jangbi's caliber. He is just not playing up to par, it seems. He lost like 3 Corsairs or something like that, but he has been massing up this gigantic army back at home, and it doesn't look like the Zerg player is going to be capable of dealing with it at this point. From what we can see that the Zerg player has, I think the Zerg player really needed some kind of scout, just like a single Zergling pushed back from that choke point, just to see when Jangbi was going to push, because I think at this point he needs to have a lot bigger army than he has right now. Lurker eggs are morphing in, so we're going to have to see if he's going to be capable of dealing with this. With those Lurkers morphing in here, actually this army from Jangbi isn't as big as I would have expected it to be. Maybe my timing sense is just off here, but my SC sense, I was gonna make a Spider-Man joke there, but it just didn't happen for me. And now the DTs have dropped. They're gonna go and take out the Spore Colony, which is the detection for the time being. And meanwhile, he's pushing up the right side here. 1 DT goes down, but there's no detection over on that side, so a lot of damage is going to be done here. That Sunken Colony is going to get focus fired down by that 1 DT. Those other DTs are going to chase down those drones. The Overlords are now coming in here, and it looks like he's target firing the gas or something. I don't know what he's target firing, but yeah, Hoejja actually doing a pretty decent job of fending off that massive army over there with just a couple of Zerglings and some Hydras and what have you. Those Overlords are getting target fired down. Wow, getting target fired down completely and getting owned. All of these Zerglings, however, here down at the bottom right are not doing the damage they need to be doing. Those DTs are still alive, and the Corsairs are overhead, so they're going to be able to pick off all the Overlords that come in here. This is not looking good for Hoejja at all, and it looks like he's going to Hoejja's going to lose that Defiler round. Yeah, I would only assume it's going to get focused down and losing all the gas drones there. An Overlord is popping there, but the Overlord popping just to get popped. That is a crappy life for an Overlord. However, all those Corsairs are getting focus fire down while losing the spawning pool. That is a very good choice. I would definitely choose the spawning pool over the Defiler mound, because if you have a Defiler mound without Zerglings, there's you pretty much have nothing except for Plague maybe, but even then, it's not that great. And like I was saying, I said this like 5 minutes ago about this defense. With the standard that it's been for typical Zerg defense against Protoss, you really just want to set up your buildings to block the cannons for you, so you don't have to make or block the sunken colonies for you, so you don't have to make that many sunken colonies. He just made so many. Storms going off all over the place here. This push is definitely going to end the game. Lurkers, I don't think are going to be able to do enough here. An Archon morphing in, and he's going to get owned. So not that great of a life for that Archon either. It looks like Hoejja might be looking to go for a drop here. However, at this point, with Jangbi on 4 bases and Hoejja on barely 3 bases, it's not looking good. And a Dark Swarm going down now on those Lurkers, but some High Templars coming in here to reinforce. And like we've all us commentators like to say, is that Plague. That Dark Swarm, all that Dark Swarm does is create a target, a massive target for the Psy Storms to just blanket. So, yeah, now Jangbi's looking to push in here. He's going to storm the crap out of those eggs, storm the Lurkers now, and storm the fort pretty much. He's definitely just going to win this game here. He's taking down the Nidus Canal, which he doesn't need to do. There's not any units on the other side of the map. There's not any units on the front door. So it looks like Samsung, having been down the first game after Firebat lost and storms going off all over the place on these drones and just picking off an Overlord also on accident. You know it's a good thing when your storms kill units that you actually don't expect to kill. Yeah, Hoejja looking a little bit devastated there, a little bit frustrated, like he knows he's going to lose this game here. So really great play from Jangbi. I can't say that it was necessarily that spectacular, but it was a win and it was a solid play. But hey, good for him, you know, dropping all over the place. You can really see the caliber of Jangbi also. I usually, like I usually say, is that I like to talk about these big name players because they're so good. And, why wouldn't you want to watch a good player, right? But Hoejja finally GGing there, but yeah, you could really see in that game the amount of multitasking that Jangbi has, and I don't know, the lack of Jangbiness or the lack of Jaedong-icity that Hoejja has there, having lost that game so decisively. And so, I don't even know, without even doing anything, to be honest with you, I don't think that Jangbi lost a single building in that game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe he lost like a couple cannons on that right side base, but that barely counted for anything. He didn't do any damage at all. So anyways, GG guys, and I'll see you in set 4 of my marathon. Whee! See you guys.
삼성의 송병구 형도 이겨주면 거의 집이 있는 거란 말입니다. 그럼 딱 이겨주고 자명한 선수의 배틀 외에 최근에 약간의 부진이 있었지만 배병호 선수와 비교했을 때는 분명히 분위기가 나쁘지 않거든요.
그럼요.
네, 마무리할 가능성이 아주 커졌어요.
네, 원래 또 차명환 선수가 저그전 스페셜리스트 아니었습니까? 자, 이대로 삼성의 분위기 만들어낼 수 있을지. 그러기에는 KTF 매직에서는 여기서 더 패하면 안 되기 때문에 배병호 선수가 진짜 에이스 결정전까지 끌고 가야 되는 막중한 책임과 임무를 지고 네 번째 세트를 펼쳐야겠습니다. 네 번째 세트는 잠시 후에 계속해서 이어드립니다.